Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say it, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. But then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real. What would you say if I took those words away? But then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you. La, da, da, la, da, da, da. More than words. La, da, 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 da. Now I've tried to talk to you and make you understand. All you have to do is close your eyes and just reach out your hand and touch me, hold me close, don't ever let me go. More than words is all I ever needed you to show. But then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. More than words. More than words. Ooh. believe. See me drinking tears for water. You're not here with me. Say I am the fool. I should never let you go away. Call me what you will, but honey, don't you ever stray. And if the sun comes up and the air to breathe, but still. What's going on, good people?
What's going on, people?
What is happening right now? I'm so not used to that kind of energy starting the show. You done threw me off. I don't even know what to do with this. That was so weird and random.
You don't want me to be just as excited?
I do.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Spence.
I'm Kenyatta Spence.
And this is
I Still Do.
Why do couples do that? Why do we have to do a unison?
Because we're on one accord.
Is that what it is?
Yep. This is a unified front.
First of all, let me explain this UK shirt. I don't like UK. I don't. But I ain't had nothing else to wear today.
No. Explain why you would even be wearing it in the first place.
Only reason I even got it is because in the pandemic, at the beginning, they stood in unity for George Floyd. And so I rocked with them for that. Mm-hmm. So I rocked with them in that regard, but not on spec. Like as a sports fan, nah, I can't do it. Okay. But I had another wear today. So I was like, whatever.
That's not true.
It is true.
You know I got you.
Not long sleeve, like and accessible in 5 minute transition from the end of the show to the next show. There's a lot of factors that put this shirt on today. So that's why, for my Louisville people, that's why I got the shirt on.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we got an interesting show today because we're talking about the vows that you take when you get married and how important those vows are to the whole of your marriage as a whole. Like, that was weird. That was a weird sentence. To the whole of your marriage as a whole.
Okay.
What does the vows mean to your marriage? That's a better way to say it. And so I thought we'd start by breaking down what traditional wedding vows are. Okay. The main pieces of what a traditional wedding vow are. It's basically, most of the time, you say in a traditional wedding vow, you say something to the effect of to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness or in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. So that's kind of what happens in the traditional vows.
Okay.
And shout out to Roy and Olivia Cook, whose young wedding I went to last week. They are betrothed. That's a cool word, right?
You've been waiting to say that.
I've been waiting to say it. Well, some people say betrothed. But it doesn't look like betrothed. It looks like betrothed. So I'm going with betrothed. I'm probably wrong, but whatever.
Okay.
Players mess up. I can't do it. Hold on. Y'all gotta give me a second. I never have done this on Daddy and the Girls, but I can't do it.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Cause man, the Kentucky of it all is itching and making me creepy, and I can't.
Oh my God!
Oh Jesus! Okay.
Wow!
Oh, I feel so much better.
I feel better.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I couldn't do it. I was trying. There's just big old Kentucky sitting across the thing. I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's sad. It was sad.
It's sad.
It was, but
I could not make it through the broadcast.
I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I was trying it. I just couldn't do it.
Okay.
The vows. What do you think about the vows? Like, what are your general thoughts about the wedding vows?
Well, I guess the part that really gets me the most is that if you've had a life full of broken promises.
Oh, and feel free to put your comments and questions in the chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Broken promises. Or you don't know the value of a promise. Right.
And then there you go, getting married. And now you're getting ready to make some promises in front of people and before God.
Say that again. Okay, you've had a life filled with broken promises.
If you've had a life full of broken promises,
and now you're about to make, so you equate vowing, with promising.
Exactly.
Okay.
When I was doing my research on vows, the words that kept popping up was promise.
Why is that a big deal, though?
Well, because you know, to understand the weight of coming into the covenant of marriage, making vows, understanding, understanding what that means, understanding the power of what that means, is that it's not something that, you got promises are thrown around so flippantly,
right?
That you saying, okay, now I'm grown, now I'm ready to make a real promise before God.
Some people don't like the traditional vows. You know that, right?
Well, but here's the deal. In my opinion, even if you don't like the traditional ones, you're going to end up having to make some type of promise of what's to come, that this relationship is elevated to from boyfriend, girlfriend to marriage.
So should the vow, what's interesting about the vows? Nowhere in the vows does it actually say, I promise to stay married.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it doesn't say that. It says to death do you part. So I guess the assumption is that that's a commitment to stay married. But it doesn't say, oh, and I promise to stay married. I promise that divorce is not an option. Like, that's not in most people's vows.
What's that vow again? What was it that you said the tradition was?
The traditional ones have and to hold, which I never understood what that meant.
It is have, like, sex.
Have you as maybe, I don't know. I never thought about it, honestly. It says to have and to hold. So I'm going to hold you in my arms. So I don't know. That's part of it. And then it says from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, sickness and in health, that's obvious. Love and cherish. Don't know what cherish really means. Like, I appreciate you, I guess. To honor you, maybe. Cherish. Okay. And then till death do us part. To death do us part. So is that I'm never going to leave you, I'm never going to divorce you?
Well, because I agree. The only thing that says to me is, because I can love you to death do us part. But is the do you part? Do us part?
So the assumption is that the only way out is death. But it doesn't really say that. Like, it says, I'm going to be here till death do us part. But it really, I don't know. It's a weird wording. I've never thought about it until now, but there's kind of a weird wording there, because it's till death do us part. But do I have to? I don't know. It's a weird wording.
I'm wondering if I need to look it up and find what the modern translation.
Well, a lot of people are going with other vows. They don't use the traditional vows anymore. Like, I've seen people use the adventure vows. The adventure vows are like, I promise to always care for you, connect with you, comfort you, celebrate with you. I'll be your side. I'll be by your side through whatever life may bring, and cherish the time we have together. Which that doesn't really sound like a wife or a husband. It sounds like a buddy. Like, my dog, I got you.
Yeah.
We're going to be here side by side, ride or die. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't, it doesn't seem like it is weighty as the traditional.
Yeah. And then there's a daily vows that I've heard people make. Today, I give you my hand and my heart, and I promise to encourage and inspire you, to laugh with you and comfort you in times of sorrow and struggle. And I promise to love you in good and bad times. And there's some more stuff that, add to the end of that.
That sounds like a
each and every
card.
day is what it said.
Sounds like a Hallmark card.
Yeah, and then there's the privilege vow. The privilege vow is I see this vow not as a promise, but as a privilege. And I get to laugh with you and cry with you and care for you and share with you. I get to spend the rest of my life with you, and it is a privilege.
I don't know if they just changed the word and just added privilege in there somewhere to make it.
Well, it is a privilege. That's what he's saying, or she's saying. And then the best friend vow. Today I marry my best friend, my bestie. One I have laughed with and cried with, the one I have learned from and shared with, the one I have chosen to support, encourage, and give myself to through all the days given us to share. Today I marry the one I love. That would sound like y'all been living together like a long time. You've been shacking. It's like we might as well do it. That sounds like something out of the Jagged Edge marriage playbook. What's the we ain't getting no younger, girl. We might as well do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I don't know. What do you think the keys to good vows are? What do you think the key to good vows are?
First of all, the first keys is to understand what they are.
Okay, I get the promise thing.
Okay, well, I mean, what? I guess because from except our own, we go through them so quickly. When we say for better or for worse,
right?
In sickness and in health, for richer or for poor, and it's like, in other words, come on, get to the good part, so we can say,
what's the good part?
It seemed like
we get to have sex.
Right. Yeah, we are certified. We are licensed.
All the sex
we can stand. So I'm saying we.
That's not in the vows either, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's not in the vows either.
No, but
it should be.
Okay.
I vow to bend your ass over and have the sex,
Mr. Noise.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I guess I'm saying, okay, so for me, because you seem like you're struggling with the question, I'm going to answer first.
Okay.
The vows should have or cover the things that you plan to or you want to receive.
You want and want to receive.
I think so.
Okay.
So, for example, I like to be there in good times and bad times. I'll be there. I expect you to be there. I like that.
Well, because
go ahead. You like cut me off. That's fine.
Well, I was just thinking about what you said when you said that. It just really it kind of jarred me right there, because who wants to make a vow to just be there when it's the better?
But that's what a lot of people do, though. And I'm saying, if you go in knowing that you can't just walk away because it got bad. Like maybe it needs to be like, if you try to leave, I get to chop off your left hand or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out.
Okay, now you have me concerned.
No.
Chop off your left hand.
That's what they do overseas when you steal something.
This is not.
When you steal something overseas, they chop off.
This is not a theft.
It is a theft. You stealing my heart. Can't be stealing my heart and just run away with it.
Okay.
And that's all willy-nilly.
Let's go with what you said. So we'd have a whole lot of one-handed people out there. Because there's a whole lot of people that take the heart and run.
Well, I'll say this. If everybody had to account for staying, and what I mean by staying, if everybody had to, if there was a penalty, a high penalty for leaving, other than money, more people would be slower to get married,
what would it
and
be?
A whole lot slower to leave.
What would be the a penalty in your mind? Oh, you're laughing a little too diabolical.
Because I have a very twisted mind. Plus, I've been watching Ozark.
Oh my God!
Shout out to Ozark on Netflix, season 4.
Okay.
What if you had to cut off genitalia or sew up genitalia if you left.
Sew up.
Like for ladies, you sew it up. You
Oh
can never
my
use it again.
gosh.
For guys, you chop that thing off. You leave, bam, Wu-Tang.
You trying to say you should be a eunuch?
I'm just saying, people would be slower to get married if they knew that if they left,
That says you're trying to control it.
But but
don't you want somebody to stay if they want to stay, not because of what the penalty they're gonna receive?
Okay, but here's the thing. What I'm trying to do is I'm saying if there is a higher sense of awareness and responsibility tied to marriage, and the vow included the cost of what happens if you choose to leave, then people would be more likely to enter it more circumspectly and knowing that if I exit, these are the consequences, right? The penalties of me leaving. So that's what I'm saying. If a guy was like, he knew that if he tried to leave, bow, he'd be like, well, I don't know if I want to get married at all.
But if it means you have to if it means that you're looking more that you're taking it more seriously and that you're not just rushing in because it means you got license for sex.
My point of bringing that statement, I know that's a sensationalized view, obviously, but my point of bringing it to the conversation is that we've made the vow too easy to break. And so if it is a promise, like you alluded to earlier, then a promise should have weight. You taught me a very valuable lesson around the 5th or 6th year of our marriage. And I was working real tough and had some long hours going, really long hours going, working on some stuff at work. And I had promised my daughter, my oldest daughter, that I was going to take her bike riding on the weekend, like a Saturday or Sunday or something like that. And I said, she said, Daddy, will you take me riding? I said, yes. She said, yes. She said, you promise? I said, yes. Oh, of course, baby, I promise. And I said very flippantly. I was just like, oh, yeah, I promise, no problem. And I didn't do it. And it wasn't legit. I got caught doing something at work and I couldn't leave. But I remember coming home and you saying to me, hey, you were supposed to take the baby bike riding. And I was like, yeah, but you know what happened? I got caught at work, with the project or whatever. She said, yeah, but you promised. I said, I know, but you know what happened? I mean, it's not a big deal. She said, no, it is a big deal. You promised. And I had never heard the word promise that way before. Never. And I remember feeling so bad because I was like, oh my God, is that what a promise means? Now, some of y'all probably like, well, yeah, you give your word, you're supposed to honor it. Well, that's what a wedding day is, a vow, a promise. You gave your word, you're supposed to honor it.
But see, I think the problem comes from when I was doing the research on that many years ago, is that we say the word promise flippantly. We've always said the word promise flippantly. And like, for instance, there's and this is no shade on them. I'm just saying as an example, there's a ministry called the Promise Keepers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so does that mean everybody there, they are the keepers of the promise? I mean, or does that mean that they are? One thing I know about this group, they are for certain going to keep their promises.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what that means.
But the reason why I brought it up is because that's who God is. That's who God is. He is the promise keeper.
Yeah, but I ain't God.
No, but I'm saying, meaning that if he promises us something, he's going to follow through because he's not one that doesn't keep his promises.
But I ain't God. And so you asking me to do something that I may not have.
So are we?
Here's my point is, of even bringing that to the point, to the conversation, is that we're asking each other to function in the image and the likeness of God in saying the words promise? Should we take vow out and call it a try? I will try to do these things. I will try to be the best.
But then that takes the weight out of it. Like, in other words, yeah, you'll try, but I told you I'd try. But that, it's sort of like somebody says, "Well, are you coming to my party?" And you say, "I'll try." That leaves me an option to be able to. If I don't show up, then I said I'd try.
But wouldn't you like a try better than you would a promise? Like, if somebody said I will try, you would not feel as bad when their try came up short. You'd be like, well, they didn't promise. They said,
yeah, we're saying the same thing. If you're saying, I'm saying the same thing as what you're saying. Is it gives them, it's not as bad because they didn't say no.
But I'm saying something different in this regard. I'm saying a try could be, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I'm distracted.
No, don't be, because I wasn't distracted when he was. Go ahead.
But I did it quickly.
I'm doing it quickly too.
You know what? Zip. You need to try to be better engaged in this show. Come on, man. We having a conversation.
Hey, you're distracted. Answer your question.
I don't forget what it is now. I'm gonna try to do better when you put your phone down.
What? This is.
What you bubbling about? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Stop. Okay. My point of saying it is that you still got your phone.
I'm just holding it. Okay. What is with you?
All right, because I want your undivided attention. I am spoiled. Ahead. I am spoiled. Yeah. No, because she be getting distracted, y'all. Y'all understand. Here's what I was gonna say. You threw me off with the phone thing. Really did throw me off. Mm. Okay. The try at least absolves you of breaking the promise, is what I was going through. So maybe if you can't, I'm saying give people the option. If they say, listen, I don't know, there's a scene in the movie Notorious where Faith and Biggie get married after like a week or two or something, like some ridiculous number like that. And they're standing there giving their vows, and Faith, the minister says, you promise to love, honor, cherish, and be faithful. And Big looks at Faith like, whoa, faithful, wait just a minute. And Faith was like, don't say it if you don't mean it. And he said, I will love you. And that's as much as I'm willing to commit to.
Then he'd have been there by himself.
Well, but she married him. So my point is, he didn't lie. He just said, he told her, I'm going to love you.
But see, she was trying to box him into something he wasn't ready for.
But that's my point. My point is, maybe we're boxing people into stuff that they're not actually ready for. I'm not really I don't know if I've settled in my heart that I'm ready to go be with you in sickness and in health and in sickness. Like health, of course. Well. But that sickness, I don't know. If you get a debilitating, life-threatening disease and I can't get none, we need to talk about what my options are.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I think people need to approach.
No one that I know of comes in. I'm talking about when they are green, they are newly, they're young and they like, I'm ready to get married. We're getting married. And they're not wrapping their mind around the concept of any of the negative. It's all the positive.
And that's my point. I think because of the way we have traditionally unpacked vows in this country, it leaves a lot for the interpretation and a room for a damaged heart. Like, I'm expecting you, according to the vow, to be there in sickness. I am expecting you, according to the vow, to be there in bad times. I am expecting you, according to the vow, to be there when I'm poorer. So that's what you promised me you would do. So the fact that we're having money issues and you want to leave, you're a liar.
Mm.
So I would rather you say in the wedding day, and if I choose to marry you, then so be it, which is why I brought up the Biggie thing. I'm going to try. And then that way, at least I know what I'm getting into.
But to me, I feel like if you're still in the I will try stage, then you need,
I agree with that too.
You're not ready for marriage if you're in the I will try stage.
I agree with that too. I think, but that's where I think you were talking about when you brought this show up. You were like, the vows are a promise. So I can't be just saying I'm gonna do something and I'm promising you, I'm vowing, I'm saying it is a priority in my life to feel and do this thing if it's really not a priority in my life. If I've not settled the vow aspect of marriage, mm-hmm. then why am I up here saying these words that I don't necessarily mean?
Well, when I was doing the research on vows, like I said many years ago, the part that really got me the most is that.
Why do you keep saying you're doing the research?
Because it was a message that I had to preach on it, and I was trying to study the backstory, trying to study biblical, have the biblical understanding of all the that surrounded around vows, and that basically, from what I remember, is that God really did not want man going around doing the vow thing. That really wasn't something that man, because I believe it's because he knew man was not going to be able to, man was going to struggle with trying to fulfill a vow. And if I recall accurately, even in the New Testament, it even tells us not to.
I think it's a day. I think we might be setting people up for failure in asking them to make a vow that they're not necessarily prepared for. Like, I was listening to this best friend vow that we read, and I'm going, he said, I married my best friend. Okay, well, you know how long it takes to somebody, like, I married my wife, I married my girlfriend. I didn't marry my best friend. But in midst of time, over time, she has become my best friend. And I think you can wait around, and maybe that's part of the problem too. Maybe you need to wait around until this person becomes what you feel like you can marry and make a vow to.
Are you saying like mature enough?
Maybe we're rushing the marriage process a little bit, because I think when you get ready to make a vow to somebody, you need to be very committed to what you're vowing to. Now, I blindly made the vow to you, believing that who I am and who I am with God would supersede anything that would come up. So my vow to him was greater than the desire to hurt you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But over time, I began to say, no, I honor the vow to him as well as the vow I made to you. And I started to truly understand and respect that vow more. But I think I think it's dangerous to lock into a marriage and you're not really truly committed to the vow. You haven't really locked into the vow. To death do you part is a long time. Death.
I heard the death part. I guess
I'm just saying.
It's like, we're so excited about being, as a wife, we are so excited about, we are going to be a Mrs. We are going to be with that man forever.
Right.
And no more dating, coming home to the same person, sharing life with the same person.
I feel like we should stop right there for a second, because you said something that's interesting to me. You said women, I'm assuming you mean women,
Yeah.
are excited to, I'm going to be coming home to the same person, no more dating.
Mm.
And you're excited. Whereas men hear that and go, wow, I'm going to be coming home to the same person, no more dating.
Wow, really?
And it's two different perspectives. And again, that affects the vow.
Mm.
Like, wow, I'm really committing to one person, like one vagina for the rest of my life. Like, no more options. Like, this is it.
Wow. That's
how some guys look at it, though. They're like, this is the only one I'll ever have.
Well, you know,
the only one. Now, for me, I did very well.
It's a hot mess. I guess my thing is that I feel like, why wouldn't you? You know, you or because there's a whole nother show. I want to know why guys will be like, I ain't ready. But the truth is that you want to wait till you want more options, and then when you get
my royal oats.
Then when you get too old or everything starts breaking down, now you want to talk about, I want to share my life with you. And it's like, bro, why didn't you share your life when you was an able-bodied individual and everything wasn't breaking down, and now you're sick.
Because I was out here in these streets.
Oh, well, you know what?
Listen, I agree with you. I that's why I said in the vow, you need to either take the promise part out of the vow, and just exchange that with the word "I'll try," or don't even take the vow.
You can't say "I'll try." That sounds hard.
Well, but okay, but you're saying "I vow," and you don't stick to the vow. That's
I vow. At least it sounds like, man, this brother is throwing it all in the ring.
Okay, but that's what you want to hear. Do you want to hear what you want to hear, or you want to hear the truth? Man. If he's telling you the truth, I don't know.
Say something that I just want to hear.
Well, you have to listen. If a dude marries you and he doesn't fulfill the vow, he just told you what you wanted to hear. But if he cheats on you inside of 2 years, or if he leaves you because y'all ain't got no money, or you get sick and he's like, I can't do this, which we've seen that happen, then he wasn't being honest about his vow. That's the reality. I mean, what are we talking about right now? The vow, it's a promise. You said it. It's a promise. I promise to be there. I promise to do. I promise to endure. And if you bail on the promise, then you're not being honest about the vow from the beginning. So maybe we should, I don't know. I'm just saying. And y'all, I know everybody watching this in real time, or you watching it later. Something's wrong with the algorithms right now, and so I don't know we can't see any comments for whatever reasons. I don't know what's going on, but that's why Mama Noy was looking at her phone, because we were trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So we were joking about that, but I just wanted to be transparent. I don't. I said earlier, for anybody watching now, and I said earlier, this vow, it's maybe it should come weightier. Like, if you don't fulfill the vow, and this going in, if you don't fulfill the vow, there's a consequence. You have to do, whatever. I don't know. And I was being facetious and joking, but at the same time, I was kind of serious, because, like, if you knew that the weight of the vow meant that you would lose sexual privileges. Oh, like, gosh. You can't.
You mean just like you gain sexual privileges for marriage?
Right. You lose them if you don't. Like, let's say you divorce somebody, and like I said earlier, for a guy, you chop that thing off, bow, gone. No more of that. For a woman, if she chooses to leave, bow, she sews that up. No more, So I'm being joking, but I'm saying you lose the opportunity. Like, if there's no consequence, then people can do and choose whatever they want.
Well, it's no different than anything happening else in life. You drive and you get a DUI or these type of penalties because you're driving on the roads, then they take your license.
There has to be consequence to a broken promise. Would you agree?
Well, that's why when people get divorced, they say alimony. They say
but
they
that
say
is
half.
But that's
say,
not enough. Because people will get married and get. How many people we know got married more than once? Our parents got married more than once.
That's true. That's true.
Both sets of our parents got married more. All of my parents.
Why you say it like?
Because that's what
you got a bunch of all.
My mom got married more than once. My mom got married 3/4 times, 3.5.
Okay. Wow.
She got married more than once. My stepfather got married more than once. My biological dad got married more than once. That's
a whole lot of more than once.
So if all you got to do is trade in the promise for another promise.
Wow. Trade in the promise for another one.
That's all I'm saying. So it's like, did the promise mean anything in the first place? And I'm not knocking our parents. I'm just saying, societally, we real flip it with the whole marriage thing. We flip it with it.
I'm thinking maybe that's why they didn't call it promises. They called it vows, because they were saying, wait a minute, we need something more weighty.
But we don't treat it any differently. We don't treat the vow like it's a vow.
I slow down when you say vow, because to me, I'm thinking promises are meant to be broken.
But I'm not talking about the exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about the majority.
Okay.
There's an old. I love it. I watched the movie Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Not well, there's like 1,000 Robin Hood movies, but the one that I'm particularly talking about was the one with Morgan Freeman and what's the dude from The Bodyguard? Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
And so Akeem was the name of the character Morgan Freeman played. Mm-hmm. And Morgan Freeman's character, he saved him from, Robin Hood saved him from death and helped him break out of prison. Mm-hmm. And so Akeem said, I am indebted to you, and I make a vow to be with you until my debt is paid.
I've seen that.
And so when you say I vow, I promise, your burdens are my burdens, your problems are my problems, your situations are my situations. That's a big statement. That's not a small statement. And so, that vow that he made to Robin Hood could have cost him his life. But he was like, well, but this man saved my life, so that's worth it. So that's all I'm saying. If you're going to make a vow, that vow needs to have consequence tied to it. And the consequence, okay, let me throw out another scenario. Mm-hmm. Whoa, y'all not ready for this one?
Oh, boy. What is with you?
I'm pausing for dramatic effect.
Okay.
What if the vow was exactly what you said it was? Till death do you part. So you say, I want out. They were like, cool. Meet us at this electric chair. Oh. Meet us at this gas chamber. That's how you get out. It's like the Bloods and the Crips. You got to die out.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, would that stop people? Would that pause people from getting married at that point?
Oh, man. Yeah.
If death was the only way out, because you cannot break the vow.
Okay. Maybe that's why they make weddings so...
I feel like we're going to have to talk about this again on Talking NOIZ. This is a good subject.
You have people that invest all this money in a wedding. All the flowers, the venue, the dress, the food, and all of that to come witness the exchange of these vows.
But it's deeper than the vows, though. The expense of making the vows. It's not, to me, this conversation is not about making the vows. Mm-hmm. This conversation is about keeping them. And if keeping them came at a high price, if you broke it, would people be slower? Because see, if we know, listen, when I walk into a store and I see the price of something and I say, oh, that's expensive, I don't want to pay that much. I don't buy it because I don't want to make the commitment to have to pay for it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If it's going to cost me more than I'm willing to pay, I leave it at the store. That's my point of saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I say marriage is too expensive because if I break the vow, it's death.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we just cured marriages in the world
instead of irreconcilable differences.
Right. Oh, we just couldn't get along. Okay, fine. You can't get along. Bow, death,
and castration.
You have cheated on your wife, cheated on your husband. Okay, no, forget castration, just death.
Oh.
The vow says, till death do you part. Okay.
That's what it says.
So we're saying in the vow, the only way out of this is death. I bet you that would slow marriages all the way down.
I would say that it would definitely influence.
That's all I'm saying.
Or it would definitely cause a drastic shift in the paradigm of people wanting to be married in the first place.
And now some of y'all gonna say, well, what about the people that evolve and you grow as an individual and you change your mind and you change your thought process and that person doesn't grow with you? What do you do about that? What you do is you make damn sure that you want to marry this person from the beginning. And maybe you don't get quick to get in that thing. Because marriage is work. Marriage is a lot of work. Now, I believe the work, as I've seen in my own marriage, gets easier as you begin to work on the marriage. So I think it gets easier, but I think people would be like, probably not going to do that. I'll be a hoe.
Well, at least they'll live, because you said killing folks.
I'm just saying, if the cost of marriage was much higher,
okay,
the divorce of marriage would be less, I think, less.
I will say it used to be.
I know these are radical thoughts, but I'm just.
It used to be where the coming before God was such a weighty experience.
Ooh, you just said something there. I don't even know if you heard what you said.
What'd I say?
If you're coming before God and making the vow that we will do death to us part, what if God starts to hold you accountable for your words?
I think that was the intent.
Well, but I'm talking about Ananias and Sapphira's level holding accountable.
Where you just keel over.
Listen, I think I want a divorce.
They'll be like, God didn't approve. God saw your heart and saw
No,
your
he
intentions.
approved. You said you want a divorce.
Oh, okay.
And it says death do you part. So you said I want out. Cool. Are you sure? Yeah. Bam, death.
But now it's to the point where I can just go to the justice of the peace and just get the certificate
of what?
A certificate of marriage. I don't even got to take no vows.
That might be better though. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I'm saying.
That might be better.
Because vows mean, if by definition you said vows mean promise. If that is true. And I believe that it is, then to vow something is a sacred and serious thing, and it should come along with consequence. But if you're saying, I want to marry, but I don't want to vow to marry, I just want to try it and see if I would like it, that is also a different thing. So maybe there's levels to this. Maybe you say, I'm not in the full-on vow line. I want to be I just want to try it and see what it works like. 90 days back.
Well, that sounds like dating.
Well, that's what dating kind of is.
In the try it.
Well, that's what dating kind of is. But I'm saying, when you make a vow, you're making a sacred promise.
I think that's something that we haven't said the whole time we've been talking. The word sacred. Right.
Or it feels like it's a sacred promise. I'll say it that way. So
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. But it's serious. That's to richer for poor, sickness and health.
I mean, listen, anybody can be with you while you're rich. Anybody can be with you while you're well.
Right.
The good times I'm gonna ride with you. But the test of the love, the test of the vows, the test of what the promises that you made is manifested during the bad, during the poor, during in sickness.
I've watched a few people endure the vow. I'm thinking of a few
endure
people
the vow.
Endure the vow, yes. And I have to tell you, it's one of the most amazing things to watch. Somebody actually endure the vow, the sickness part of the vow. And they're there wiping their face, and they're there changing their bed, and they're there helping them change their clothes, helping them get to the bathroom, sitting beside them as they die. That is an unbelievable commitment to what you said you were. I mean, that's powerful. I've watched people be poor together and struggle and struggle and struggle. We've been poor together and struggled and struggled and struggled and man, it's an intense thing to watch.
Well, and then the other thing is that to the temptation of saying, I don't have to take this.
Right.
It's real. You saying you're married to somebody and you're poor, you can fix that. You can leave and find somebody that's not poor.
Or you can fight together and figure it out.
Yeah, but see, society now says, I don't have to take this.
Right.
I can exit stage left, find somebody that's well, find somebody that's richer, find somebody that's got their life is going good, and change lanes. But then the question is, okay, once you get that person, are you going to keep doing that same thing? And that seemed to be the pattern of our, at least because, my mom was married several times. Maybe that was her thing. Like, in other words, I don't have to take this. This marriage is not going the way that I thought it should. So I'm finna go and find somebody else that it might go better.
Yeah. Wow, this is a really weighty show. Talking about it all starts with the vows, and I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if you were making comments and Facebook wouldn't let you be great. I don't know what's going on today, but Facebook is being Facebook. So we apologize for anybody's comments we missed or whatever. Or you're seeing it and the numbers just aren't registering properly. I apologize for that as well. But just FYI, we love you guys and appreciate you guys. Tonight,
this afternoon.
Well, for some people it'll be night, Mama NOIZ. And if you're in Louisville, it comes on at 6:00 at night.
Okay.
Now for us, it's 5:00 in the afternoon. You're correct. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just let you see. So that's tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So don't miss that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we'll kind of be peeking our heads in, see what's going on. So man, it's a good show. Another good one, Mama Noise. Another good one. You did good, homie. All right. We'll be and then of course we got Uncorked Wine tonight. So don't miss Uncorked Wine night. Game night on Uncorked Wine. So love you guys. Have a great evening. And man, we'll see you later. Mwah. Love you.
You should have believed.